Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gex Enter the Gecko playthrough. And now that we've cleared out all the other levels, I suppose it's time to... I'm not playing that horror level yet. Fuck it. Mooshoe Pork. Wasn't I just talking about takeout?
Yes.
Well, this guy looks delicious.
Oh, that's an udder. Okay, I thought that was something completely different. Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's Mooshoe Pork. He's a cow pig.
Well, he also has facial hair, so he's a man. So he's a man cow pig.
Wasn't Mooshoe the name of the dragon in Mulan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the part where I forgot what I was supposed to be doing for this boss fight, but the thing is, he won't actually come after you unless you get close. So you can stand back here like a pansy, like I'm doing, but nothing will happen.
Well, I mean, that is kind of funny in its own way. You can just stand there and the guy will be flipping the switch until the end of time.
But here's the other thing. You got to be careful about it, because if you go too fast when you're running away from him, he actually will turn back. So you can't get too far ahead of him. I like how he just walks across the bottomless pit. Great. Well, it's not bottomless. It's full of like acid that acts like lava.
So if you every time you do damage to him, more platforms disappear. Then
Right before the final hit, the grating above the first two things will disappear.
okay.
And if he hits you, he actually does turn around and go for the switch, so you can't let him hit you either. There's no cheesing this. But it's also not that hard. Wow. That's a death animation.
Again, Yu-Gi-Oh monster, man. Just drain all of his attack points.
Oh, man.
But what if he was in defense mode?
Drain all of his defense points.
Alright, Mooshoe Pork is dead. Which means, actually, I'm not sure if defeating the boss is what opens the gate. I think it is.
So the gold remotes, they're just for opening extra levels, and red remotes are what you need to get to the final boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although defeating the bosses does open specific gates. Not all of them. The next gate actually opens with a red remote count.
Okay.
But there are only three bosses in the game, and honestly, most of them are kind of weak. The second to last boss is a Gexzilla mini game, which is really fun, and the final boss is good, but also fucking terrifyingly hard.
That's the prehistory channel. Before there was nothing but, reality TV and Duck Hunt, whatever, the Duck Dynasty or whatever.
You mean
man.
there was supposed to be history on the History Channel?
There was at one point.
There was history for a while, but then it became the Hitler channel, and then it became reality TV.
Because God forbid we want a place on the TV for when we actually want to watch a documentary.
Yeah, you want to get that stuff on... If you want to get that stuff, you have to watch it on, like, history.com or something.
Yeah, or like Netflix or whatever. Because I enjoy looking up the historical stuff, because I feel like the way that they teach history in schools a lot of the time is very bad. Bad.
You mean how they teach anything in school these days?
Well, yeah, basically. But like history is basically the world's most interesting story, because it's the story of the world. And having to have people like memorize dates as opposed to the fact that like, man, there's all this political intrigue and cool battles and stuff. I feel like they never really did it right, and so.
If only they explained World War I's cause as the D&D set of pictures that I've seen.
Oh, man.
I mean, who's dropping Cap'n Crunch on top of us?
Ah! Fuck!
Well, at least this game doesn't do the Mario 64 thing where it'll continuously damage you the more you land on the lava.
Well, it will, but there were some safety nets
Well,
down.
no, but if Mario like got burned his ass in the lava and then landed back on the lava, he burned his ass again and lose more health.
Well,
You have invincibility frames in Gex too.
does it? Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
frankly never noticed. For a second, I thought I died.
Not that it would matter. You have
You
37
live.
of them.
Yeah, but I'd have to go back to the beginning of the level, and that's annoying. I just
You
want.
just started the level.
Yeah, I know, but I'd have to do that whole platforming section again.
I don't know, having to do a platforming section in a platforming game.
Incidentally, this is not the first Prehistory Channel level. This is just the secret one. But the Prehistory Channel levels were always some of my favorites because remember, this was the 90s, and I was a young boy, which means by default I was required by law essentially to be fascinated by dinosaurs in the 90s.
Thank you, Jurassic Park.
God damn it. No, it was actually before Jurassic Park that fad happened.
Jurassic Park really just kind of coincidentally came out at the right time to really explode.
Yeah,
But the thing,
I mean,
I think the thing that officially ended the dinosaur craze was Sonic and the Secret Rings with the frickin' dinosaur eggs. I never want to see a dinosaur ever again in my life after that.
Dino.
Jungle.
Jungle.
I know that the song's supposed to go "The Wicked Wild" after that, but I've always kind of sounded just like it just sounded like gibberish to me. It just like dino.
but like when I was a kid, I was that kid who would go to the school library and look for books on dinosaurs and check those out.
Dinosaurs are cool. They're like dragons, but from the past and on Earth.
Man. I had 3D Dinosaur Adventure, which I can't find a copy of anymore. I can't find my old copy of, and the only thing on the internet that I found about it is I think Pushing Up Roses might have done a video on it a while back.
Vector the crocodile?
No, this is prehistoric Gex.
Crash did it first.
Actually, was this game before Crash 3 or after Crash 3?
I think it was around this. No, actually, I think Gex 2 was 1998.
Well,
You died anyway.
yeah, because the
Same year.
prehistoric Gex in this case kind of operates like Gex. He just spams the tail whip at you. Which is exactly what you're trying to do to it the first time you find it.
But all that does is
It
lower
also
defense.
it also just makes like prehistoric pop culture references.
So what, are they even more dated than Gex's references? Like,
Well, by default, yes, because it's a
yeah,
Before
but
dates.
yeah.
oh,
It's an older
yeah,
age.
but like, what would he be referencing? Like 1800s classical literature or something?
In prehistoric times.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to. It has to be.
The difference between this and Hades is there's no Kathy Lee Gifford.
Okay, I don't get that one. Hold on, I have to look this one up because it's gonna bother me.
Well, it's insulting an actress, and that makes it automatically funny, even if you don't know who it is, because insults are funny. Well, the
Never
internet
watched
seems to
Regis
think
and
they are.
Kathy Lee.
Oh.
Come on, Ted. Never watched Regis and Kathy Lee? Come on.
Oh, jeez. Oof.
Wow, you give no shits.
The controls are slippery enough as it is, but when you add the D-pad in, well, it was fine back in the day, but modern gaming has spoiled me with analog sticks. God damn it. I don't even know how I landed on the lava there. It kind of looks like I just flopped over dead on the edge of the ground.
Well, at this point, you just want to die.
Oh, man. In any case, these secret levels are one and done levels. There's exactly one linear path. I don't even think there's a silver remote for getting all the coins, tokens, whatever.
Things.
It's okay to call them coins, Lewis.
No, it's not.
Well, okay, look, it's just
A coin is a coin. A ring is a ring.
okay. It's just
A kabuki mask is a kabuki mask.
okay. That's true, but
A
it
Wumpa fruit
always
is a Wumpa fruit.
it always annoys me when I'm playing Sonic and somebody says, "Oh, get the coin," and somebody else goes, "No, they're actually rings." And it's like we know what they mean. You don't have to be a dick about it.
But you see, here's the thing: Gex 3 has coins, but they're a different collectible than the tokens. So Ugh.
You see, Ted, you may argue that we already know what you're talking about. I say, are you that lazy to not call them rings?
Okay, it's usually like my mom or somebody, okay, who's saying that. All right.
No.
So like if I'm playing Sonic and my mom says, "Oh, you missed that coin there," I know what she's talking about. I know she means the ring. I don't need to be mean, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's not a good idea to be mean to my mom. She can still get me in trouble, even though I'm a grown adult. I don't need my TV taken away again.
I like how Gex does a flying kick, but it's always his tail that precedes his foot. Oh yeah,
Wait, I forgot it.
the tail is a sentient entity.
That's kind of morbid.
It's not the only enemy that does that sort of thing in this game either.
Maybe he's like a starfish, where the tail can like grow into another Gex.
That's horrifying.
I think there are lizards who can live without their tails or who can grow back their tails, but I don't.
They grow back.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but there aren't any lizards that can.
regenerative powers was basically the plot of Spider-Man.
Yeah, but there's. I was thinking kind of backwards. There are no lizards that like from a tail could grow another lizard because they're too complicated of a life form for that to really work. The only reason why starfish can grow back their entire body from a single part of the star is because starfish are like barely not plants. So yeah, I think they like are just barely complicated enough to not technically be considered a plant of some
Barely
sort.
not plants. That's got to be the best academic description of a life form I've ever heard.
Hey man, I got my PhD in biology at fake University State. So
Trump University. Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Drop zone. I like how they put that funny little sign there to let you know, yeah, you're supposed to drop. So
Well,
drop.
there's no other way to really know what to do there otherwise, so.
Yeah, but they have fun with it. Man, there's no marrow in those bones. It's depressing. Okay. Now, I made the horrible mistake of actually trying to collect all 3 tiers of collectibles in this stage, which slowed me down considerably at this portion. You must be this tall to ride the bone raft. For some reason, during the PlayStation era, I was fascinated by lava graphics, and I have no idea why, because it's just a moving texture.
I'm surprised that they actually have Gex move his mouth whenever he's doing a quip. There are a lot of, like, even PS2 and GameCube games that don't do stuff like that. Like, I'm thinking of the SpongeBob games in particular, the movie game and the Battle for Bikini Bottom, which are both fun games. I enjoy them. But SpongeBob talks almost as much as Gex. Almost, not as much. But he never moves his mouth whenever he's saying anything. So, but you're usually looking at his ass, so it's not ever really noticeable. So I'm surprised that they did it here for Gex. It's a neat detail, especially considering that he won't shut up.
Well, the other thing about that, though, is that... Fuck.
I'll take places I can burn to death for 100 Alex.
The other thing about that, though, is that the PlayStation 1 games didn't often have moving mouths.
Yeah,
and
they
when
were.
they did, it was usually a special cutscene model. Like,
Yeah.
Resident Evil, anyone?
yeah, like characters would bob their heads, or maybe they'd have an animated mouth texture, like in the Harry Potter game. But that was about the best you could hope for most of the time.
Which is why I credit games like Mega Man Legends for averting that, because they went full out lip movements. They had emotions and face textures. It's actually really good.
I think what it is here is that Gex's model, like they couldn't really make Gex's model just like a face texture. They had to have an open mouth just due to his design.
Well, okay, he's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Do the shape
Gecko.
of his head, yeah.
For Mega Man Legends, though, so I haven't played those a lot. Did they bother to match the lips with the English, or is it just matched with the Japanese?
I think it maybe just matched with the Japanese, but it's not noticeable.
It's not noticeable.
Know what I
okay.
mean?
It's like anime dubbing. The mouth movements are generalized enough that you don't really hear when it's dubbed. That's why something like that works better for a cartoony game like Mega Man Legends than a photorealistic game like Yakuza.
Yeah. Which I'll take that over what you guys were talking about earlier about Metal Gear Solid or Tomb Raider. They
Head
just bob their
bobble,
heads. Everybody has telepathic communication.
Well, you know, sometimes even in cartoony games they try that, and it's very obvious that they didn't dub correctly. Which I'm looking at you, both Sonic Adventure games. All right.
I don't
Go
even think.
Lyoko, anyone?
I don't even think that lip syncing matched the Japanese in the first place. Oof.
It did in Adventure 2. I don't think it definitely didn't in Adventure 1. The problem was that in Adventure 2 they screwed up the audio so that they played the audio at the same times, even though the audio tracks were different languages, if I remember correctly. For
this goddamn lava section, I just gave no fucks and I started killing myself to get at the collectibles faster. Because I wanted the silver remote, and then I got to 50. I'm like, oh, there's no silver remote. I just wasted my time and my lives and.
You have more than enough lives.
Is 50 the cap?
No.
Oh, okay.
50 is where the third tier ends and where you'll get an extra life or a silver remote.
Sorry. I completely misunderstood what you were talking about. I thought you were referring to 50 lives, because, like, you're at that much already. And for some reason, I thought that 50 was your cap for lives. I'm sorry, I'm tired.
But essentially, I wound up losing all these lives to get to the end of the collectible tier, and all I got as a reward was an extra life.
We do that sometimes, though. Like, you know, if you die trying to get a 1-up, well, you have to get it now, because otherwise you wasted a life for nothing, right?
But now you're just trying to reach the status quo. Is that really worth it?
Unfortunately, the end portion of this section where the music changes is also where the jumping gets a bit more dangerous, and I wasn't ready for that.
I was not prepared.
And this is just one of the 40,000 rooms in Aaron Spelling's house.
Who's that?
What he said.
Hold on.
God bless Wikipedia.
Oh, he's a television producer. He was behind Charlie's Angels and The Love Boat.
Oh. Yeah, now I get that joke.
I'll take places I can burn to death for 100 Alex.
I also get that one, but only because Jeopardy.
It's Jeopardy! Hey!
I'll take the rapist for 100, Alex.
No, nothing beats Ape.
Jeopardy will be easy reference fodder as long as Alex Trebek doesn't die.
I'll take anal bum cover for 500, Alex.
No swimming. No swimming in lava.
That signpost should be burnt.
Fireproof wood.
Okay. Come on. You can make it, Gex. Ow.
I saw what happened there. You were doing your ledge grab animation, but your ass went low, just low enough to hit the lava and cause it to get damaged.
Man, Super Mario Bros. 2 got a lot more metal.
No joke, after getting that health power up, I thought for a second that I was about to fall in the lava because I misjumped. Ugh.
No, Lewis. No.
Yeah, you're basically not going to make this unless you tail bounce your way up. But you can hit the bottom of these platforms. You don't phase upward through them or anything. So, that's a bit tricky.
You have 4 hits, just you abuse your invincibility frames.
Oh, I see what you were doing there. You left the thing uncollected just in case you needed to pick it up later. I do that sometimes.
Well, I was trying to figure out whether or not I had the whether or not I needed it, and I had forgotten that there's a button you can press to make your health thing appear. So, that's one secret level down. First try, yeah. First try.
Well, you technically didn't leave the level, so it is your first try.
I like the name of that one. It's Lava Daba Doo.
Okay, you can tell I'm really out of it because I thought that was a Scooby-Doo reference.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Ted, I just realized they sound remarkably similar.